Imagine a world where there was no electronic commerce and there was no availability for you to purchase things online. Also imagine if these systems were not available to even create electronic commerce. This means the internet would not be as popular and prosperous as it is today. That could be the world without certain things, such as the System Development Lifecycle, otherwise known as the SDLC, and electronic commerce, which we also call e-commerce, which relies heavily on the system development lifecycle and the internet. Today, we're going to give brief information about the SDLC as well as e-commerce to show how it is important to us today and to define it a little bit further. System Development Lifecycle, or SDLC, is a conceptual model that is used in product management. It describes the stages involved in an information system development project. This is basically what it looks like. It starts with the planning stage, and basically the systems development lifecycle is a way for programmers to show a system, test it out, and code it and maintain it. Previously, an individual programmer or a few programmers were able to fix and tweak a code to solve an issue and automate a procedure. However, as the internet became more popular and systems grew larger and larger with more complicated code and custom-made code for each company, it was impossible for a single programmer to implement all of these codes and also work with the system itself because it was too complicated. So a team was created to manage the system. This means the team is able to provide longer lines of custom code, making the system better and more efficient for the company as a whole. And this is why the system development lifecycle was implemented. So companies could track the code, and is extremely useful today because it is what allows us to have these complex systems that we use every single day, though we do not know it. Without the SDLC, it's possible that we would not have systems such as Microsoft and smartphones. And it allows companies to track and adapt the development of a system through the numerous stages. So we'll start from the stage of the inception of the system as just an idea, and it'll actually track the system until system retirement. So it allows companies to implement and scale back their product. There are numerous models to track the systems, but it basically allows the companies to work efficiently and allows the teams to work in parallel. And it allows the system to change and evolve over time. So it doesn't matter really what model they're using. As long as they're using SDLC, the company's main goal is to integrate and test the system until it's available for market use and for use for their clients. Without the system development lifecycle, things such as e-commerce could not be as efficient or popular today. Because electronic commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services mainly online, it goes to show that companies online use the system development lifecycle to promote their e-commerce. It's primarily used through the internet, and it also includes the transferring of funds or data. Of course, we've all heard of companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Alibaba, and that is e-commerce in a consumer to business level, which basically means us as the consumer are purchasing their business's goods. However, it's important to note that consumers to consumers can use electronic commerce with the transferring of funds on things such as apps like Venmo, and also businesses and to other businesses use e-commerce as well. So it's very versatile and it transcends just the customer to business barrier. And the benefits are huge. It is very fast and it changed the way we advertise and purchase goods. So instead of physically having to go to the store at certain times, e-commerce is available around the clock. So we can quickly access goods or services, and most goods are accessible internationally. This means there's an increased availability. The more goods we have online, transcending global barriers, also state barriers, allows for more products to get to the consumer. So what this means is previously before e-commerce, some places did not have certain goods or services available. However, now with e-commerce, most citizens or most users of e-commerce have these goods and services available because of the internet. It's extremely fast because as long as you have a good internet connection and a credit card, you can use electronic commerce. One of the concerns is security. However, today security is not that much of an issue because companies are using increased security manners such as encryption, trusted programmers, user logins, and authentication. So trusted programs such as PayPal force you to log in and it authenticates your credit card or debit card for the company. So this basically ensures that the company is going to be receiving the funds that you're promising them for their goods or services. Also, eBay and Amazon have the seller guarantee, which guarantees that the consumer is going to receive their goods. So that way there's a less insecure aspect to it. So e-commerce is becoming more and more secure. That is not to say that there are not any drawbacks. The main drawback we have today is shipping and handling costs. Shipping and handling does cost money, of course, and it could increase the price of your product. Rather, if you went into the store and bought the product, you would not have the shipping costs because you physically are there. Also, you have the shipping wait time. It can take as little as a few days to as long as a few months, depending what option there is. And the shipping wait time does make it a little bit less efficient. And another small drawback we have is certain products most consumers and businesses would like to touch and feel to see if it's the right fit for them. Those products would include things like clothes and backpacks and stuff like that, just to make sure that that is personally their criteria. So with e-commerce, there is no way for them to physically touch the product or try it on or anything like that. However, as I said before, with most products such as phones, laptops, and printer ink, there's no need for the consumer to touch it because they know what it is and it's universal. So that is what e-commerce is the best for. And that is why electronic commerce is really rising in popularity. There is a price competition and comparison. So that means these days you could go to the store to try something on and compare prices online to find the same good or service for cheaper online. So that is increasing competition. So this could be seen as a good or bad thing depending on your standpoint, but as a consumer, increased competition means cheaper prices. So e-commerce is generally seen as a good thing. Also, as we mentioned before, the ease of access. E-commerce really allows companies to transcend barriers. There's not really language or physical barriers any longer because the internet can transfer or translate some items for the consumer and also transfer the funds. So even if you wanted to pay a company in China and they, work in yen, we could use our US dollars and it would convert it to yen on their own time. And this brings us back to the fact that traditional commerce is becoming a little bit redundant right now. As I said before, traditional commerce is really good for if you need to try something on physically and be there. However, if that's not the case, more and more people are using e-commerce and it seems to be the future of commerce. So this means instead of going to the store and paying and driving home and everything, you could go online and have it shipped directly to your door. We see students doing that more and more today, even here at St. Louis University, with students ordering their books online instead of at the SLU bookstore. So e-commerce is definitely the future. And without SDLC, the System Development Lifecycle, things like electronic commerce could not be implemented today. So we need to be sure that we understand the definitions and the usefulness of SDLC and e-commerce, and also know how to implement them into our daily lives so we are better prepared for an efficient and healthier future. Thank you.